Smoke meat.
No chemicals or preservatives, just 100% honest to goodness hickory smoked meat.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Boy, some chicken wings have really hit the spot.
You ain't got no better food like some chicken wings, some baby back ribs, some fries or something?
That's just two guys talking, am I right? We're just talking.
Hey, howdy, hey, everybody.
What's cooking?
Yeah,
Man,
dude, we're feeling it today.
well timed,
I was
well
just watching the
executed.
intro, and we have Chris Farley on there from Tommy Boy. Mm-hmm. Do you know he was 33 when he died?
Uh-huh.
What a tragedy.
Yeah.
I was watching a thing today on actors that died way too young. Him and John Candy.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it.
John Candy was a little bit older.
He was. He was in his 40s, I think.
I want to say it was like 44, 45.
Yeah, that seems right.
But, yeah,
Freaking.
no, I remember, when Farley died. Mm-hmm. I lived outside of Chicago, and it was a big deal in Chicago.
I'll bet. I've been to his, I don't know what you'd call it, not grave. He's like in a mausoleum, but I've been to his tomb. Yeah, I guess that's what it would be. Huh. Yeah. When I was on my mission, we went. Anyway.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, everybody. Don't die.
Speaking of Chris Farley, did I send you that SNL belly slap?
No.
I swear I sent it to you on Instagram.
Well, maybe you did. I am terrible at checking my Instagram messages.
We've been over this.
Yeah. I apologize.
Maybe,
I thought I just checked yesterday and I didn't see anything, but that's very possible that...
What do you know? It's right there.
Well, crap. Yep, there it is. Yesterday at 8:39. I was asleep by then, John.
8:39, you were asleep?
No, I'm just kidding. I did see the pig get the spa treatment, though. That was freaking hilarious.
Here. Well, you talk for a minute.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull this up because it's worth a watch.
Well, John pulls that up. Merry Christmas, everybody. What do you think we'll be recording next week? We'll be kind of in the midst of the holiday. I don't know that we're going to make it happen.
I mean, it's Christmas Eve when we normally record. Then it's Christmas.
Probably not.
If we do, it'll be late.
Yeah. Maybe we'll release a late special or something. Mid-Christmas break, because the next week's going to be just as crazy, probably.
I think it'll all depend on what you get for Christmas.
Yeah, that is actually quite true. Yeah, so lots been going on. And I've cooked more. I told Whitney, I've cooked more in the last week than I have in the last several months. It's been kind of nice. I've had some nights free. I haven't been driving super late, and so
well, that's because it's pitch black
really nice.
outside.
Yeah, that's very true. So, did those chicken breasts? I think I talked about those, or turkey breasts. I think I talked about those last week.
Oh yeah, how'd those turn out?
Oh, it turned out great. I brined them for 12 hours the night before, and then I took the skin off. Do you take the skin off? I think we've talked about this.
I take it off when No, I think I cook mine in the skin because I stuff stuff under the skin.
See, I always have, but I was watching a Malcolm Reed, and he got boneless, skinless ones, and so I just ripped the skin off and slathered it in mayo.
Nice.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
I'm a big fan of mayo on turkeys.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I, honestly, as I was doing it, Whitney's watching me what's happening right now?
That's disgusting.
It's listen, and honestly, I kind of felt the same way the first time I did it. I was like, there's no way this doesn't just taste like egg salad sandwiches. But it was actually divine. Just adds a little bit of fat and a nice binder. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Didn't dry out. It was really good. So, 10 out of 10.
Have you seen Benny Kendrick's video where he's slicing the turkey that he did?
I don't think so.
Go look at
Kendrick Barbecue?
Yeah, Kendrick Barbecue.
Uh-huh.
He cuts into this chicken and juice literally sprays across the room.
That's awesome. Did he inject?
I don't know if he did or not. I don't think so. But he might have.
Have you ever made a turkey, I don't know how to say it, roulade or something?
A roulade where you roll it up?
Yeah.
I've never done it with turkey.
I was looking at some because I was thinking about boning it out just to say, hey, I boned a turkey out. And it was just the breast. And I'm interested to try it. I don't know. What do you do it with? Have you done it with chicken?
The only roulades I've ever done have been with beef. And I've done like flank steak or skirt steak.
Oh, see, that sounds way better. Anyway, I saw some turkey roulades that looked kind of good that I thought about trying, but
I'm not a huge fan of roulades.
Really? How come?
I don't know. Probably because I'm not doing them right.
Yeah.
But I've never had one that I was like, oh, I've got to have more. It's been like, well, I wasted all of the surface area of this meat by rolling it up, and I've got no Maillard reaction here. Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
I like my sear.
Yeah. That is a good point. That kind of takes that away from everything, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting.
All
right. Did you pull up your thing?
I did. I found
I've
a video.
stalled long enough.
You stalled sufficiently.
Nice.
Let's cut over here. Can pull that back up. Here we go. This is. Make sure we can hear it in the studio. This is like old school SNL.
Meadows, no kidding. This was the dream team.
Chris
Oh my God.
The oxen and get time for rumpa-pum-pum. I played my drum for him for rumpa-pum-pum. I played my band for him for rumpa-pum-pum. Rumpa-pum-pum, rumpa-pum-pum. Then he smiled at me for rumpa-pum-pum. Me and my drum. Me and my drum.
Oh, that's amazing.
You can't beat old school Chris Farley.
Oh, man. He was so good.
Yeah.
Everything he did was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do drugs, people.
Yeah,
That's the message.
Especially not all the drugs he did. Mm-hmm. I mean, he like...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, what are we talking about today besides Chris Farley?
I was going to make a joke about John DeLorean.
I don't know this joke. Who's John DeLorean?
So, you know the DeLorean, like, from Back to the Future?
Yeah.
John DeLorean was the guy who, invented the DeLorean,
Right.
ran DeLorean Motors. When the company started to go under, he started running drugs.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know
So
this.
the joke is that you always know when there's a DeLorean in front of you because the white straps on the road disappear. Anyways, I was going to make a joke about Chris Farley telling John DeLorean to hold his beer.
That's fair. That's fair.
It was a bad joke. Jokes are even worse when I have to explain them.
Yeah, that's my bad. I should have just blindly agreed and been like, So
I'm going to give you a pass. It's like 1970s pop culture that you have no reason to know.
That's true.
I'll forgive you this time.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We are talking tonight about something very near and dear to my heart.
So good. Every big decision we had to make when we were in the bishopric together involved these.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yeah. They're, and it actually was like 2 weeks ago would have been the ritual.
Yep, that's true.
Burritos.
Burritos.
And we're not talking about little donkeys.
Deliciousness. That's what we're talking about. Big ones, the size of a cat.
It's funny because I feel like food portions in Utah are just massive.
Really? Bigger than outside of Utah?
Yes. We eat an enormous amount of food in Utah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's all heavy potatoes and meats
Right.
and like good pioneer stock food.
Sure.
But some of the biggest burritos I've ever seen in my life are outside of Utah.
Really? Do tell.
Well, they're just like I can think of a couple places in Chicago as well as in California where they are like home of the football-sized burrito. That I've
You
got,
can't even eat with your hands.
I have
then.
big hands,
Uh-huh.
but when I grab a burrito and like my fingers barely touch each other, it's gonna be a painful evening.
So good.
It's gonna be so good. But I'm going to pay for every minute of that experience later in life.
That's the message today, guys. Don't do drugs, and also you pay for the burrito twice when you eat it. But so just enjoy it.
Yeah. No, but
History.
let's do a little history lesson
History of the burrito.
because this is
Pretty
always
recent,
fun.
actually. Well, at least the breakfast burrito, we were saying.
Well, even in general, like burritos, in Mesoamerica, Central America, before we really had North and South America organized and populated, like, we've always had North and South America. Let me clarify that.
Right.
But in Mesoamerica, like, using corn, like corn tortillas, what has been a thing. Always.
So did
has
they
been.
not have flour? Is that why they always use corn? Is that a European thing that
The
they brought over?
flour was introduced with Spanish colonization. Wheat was brought over, and they started using it, and that's what I guess.
And before that was just corn, huh?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I didn't know that. But
So
yeah.
wrapping things in tortillas, though, had been around for a while.
Yeah.
But corn tortillas.
Yep. Lots of corn tortillas. And then wheat flour became common in northern Mexico, in Chihuahua and Durango and Sonora. And that's where modern day burritos are believed to have originated.
Delicious.
The modern burrito's name first appeared in print in 1895 in a Mexican dictionary where it described it as a rolled tortilla with meat or other ingredients inside.
Interesting. So that... How does this differ?
I had never thought about the fact that... I don't know why. Like, this is a stupid thing. Like, but you don't think about dictionaries other than, like, school. So
Right.
the fact that they had dictionaries...
Right.
In
Like,
1895.
Hey, this is officially a word that we're
Yeah.
using now. What's the difference between a burrito and a taco?
Well, that's not the subject of the query that I sent to ChatGPT, so I can't really tell you
bad.
that, Mike.
I just know
But
that
I
you
believe-
spent some time with South American
I
cuisine.
did, but
they probably don't eat
in-
burritos and stuff. Huh? That's
I was
more
going to say,
Mexican.
in Peru, a tortilla is a egg dish,
Really?
similar to Spain.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep, they don't do tortillas down there. Don't do
Really?
burritos.
So is that just a straight up Mexican thing? Mm-hmm. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
mean, I think some
That's how
other
uncultured I am.
Central American cultures have adopted it, but it definitely
Started
became
and became
popularized
popular in
and
Mexico.
is a part of Mexican culture.
Interesting.
But so 1895, it hits the dictionary, and then as we start to see more Mexican workers start to immigrate and travel around, we see some of their culture get carried with them and introduced.
Best part of that being the food, in my opinion.
Yeah. So in the mid 20th century, we start to see a lot of this, especially in California and Texas, as those Mexican American communities grew. And by the 1960s, burritos were a staple in the Tex-Mex cuisine. So and then it really got popular in the 60s when chains like Taco Bell opened up.
Taco Bell pushed the burritos to us.
Have you are you a Taco Bell fan?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
They've
I'm
got-
not a huge fan, but yeah.
They've got they call it their decades menu right now,
Oh.
and they've brought back things from.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So the caramel apple empanada. You remember that from high school?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Never had it.
It was like the single best thing they ever made.
I was pretty into the grilled stuffed burrito for a long time because it was cheap and it was pretty filling and it was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the breakfast burrito, which is really what triggered our idea for today's episode, and I want to hear about the ones you made.
Yeah.
The breakfast burrito has its roots in Tex-Mex cuisine, and while it's hard to pinpoint, there is a belief that they really came to be popular in New Mexico in the 70s, and there's a restaurant called Tia Sofia's in Santa Fe that claims to have put the first breakfast burrito on their menu.
I'd be willing to try it.
And I love breakfast burritos, especially chorizo. I love chorizo breakfast burritos to the point I had one for lunch this week.
John, I don't think I've ever had a chorizo breakfast burrito.
Oh, man.
I need to try it.
So chorizo is just sausage, but it's Mexican style sausage.
Yeah,
So
it's more spicy and...
spicy, way greasier.
That's not true. I have had the chorizo burrito from Maverick.
No, you can't put that in the same category.
That's kind of what I figured, but it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but it's got bad nacho cheese in it, too. Don't get me wrong, I had one of those for breakfast on Monday and had the chorizo burrito from Filiberto's on Tuesday.
Where's Filiberto's?
I was in Brigham City.
Oh.
I was picking some stuff up down there.
Gotcha.
It's their version of Rancheritos.
Choritos and Betos and...
Yep. But yeah, it took off from there. It's been on menu. The breakfast burritos still is on the McDonald's menu that you can go.
That's where I learned how to roll them. Working at McDonald's, rolling
Oh,
breakfast
really?
burritos. Yep.
Yeah,
I
tuck
did
the end and
hundreds a
roll
day.
them, and
Yep.
yeah, burritos are they're the ultimate like convenience factor for food.
So good. And I just looked up the difference between burritos and tacos. Main
One-
thing's the size. But another thing is burritos are self-contained. easy
Tacos
to
are
eat.
open.
Tacos are open face, so they can dump all kinds of stuff on them. So, yeah.
And then you can get a taquito, which is a rolled taco with open ends.
I get those, but only at gas stations. So, I don't think it's the same thing.
They're also called flautas.
Is there a difference?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
You said that like an expert, and then just, I don't know.
No, I just know that they're called flautas. In Mexico, if you order a taquito, they're going to give you a little taco. If you order a flauta, you're going to get a rolled taco.
Oh, okay. All right. Delicious.
My dad gives me crap because he obviously grew up bilingual, still speaks Spanish very well. I served a mission in Peru and learned to speak Spanish and came home and spoke it very well, but I haven't maintained it. But the one thing I can still order, or I can still do today without any issue, I can order food in Spanish. Like, it's
And you
nobody's
feel good about
business.
it. So when you go to like Filiberto's or Beto's or whatever,
Always
do you
in
order in
Spanish.
Spanish?
Always in
Is it
Spanish.
ever awkward? Like, oh, this gringo, why is he neat, dude? Or is it like, oh, yeah, right on?
No, they're fine.
Do you feel like more accepted by them?
I feel like the food's better.
Nice.
If for nothing else, it's a placebo effect of me,
Sure.
like, getting in tune with the culture.
There you go. All right. I love it. I do not speak Spanish, but if they had Hmong breakfast burritos, I would get after it for us.
I don't think I'd want a mock breakfast burrito.
Yeah, I don't think it wouldn't be good.
There'd be a lot of cabbage.
A lot of squirrel. Yeah.
I don't mind the squirrel, man.
Yeah.
I like squirrel.
It's fine.
Tell us about the breakfast burritos you made.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. So Reg got baptized this weekend. John came, and I feel so bad that I didn't invite you. I'm such an idiot. I was telling Whitney, I take everything day to day, and it never even occurred to me until we showed up, and you were there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even tell John.
So I was
Anyway.
I was texting Wade because we were trying to get his key to work at the steak center.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, all right, well, I'll test it when I go tomorrow to the baptism. He's like, are you coming? I was like, coming to what? Like, what are you talking about? He goes, there's a baptism. Aren't you coming? I said, well, who's getting baptized? And he goes, Rhett. I was like, Mike doesn't tell me anything. I'll see you there.
Dude.
No, it was great. Like, I was just glad that I found out somehow.
December is kind of the worst. Like, I love Christmas time, but I feel like there is something every night, and we've just been taking it one night at a time.
Charlie has 4 orchestra concerts this month.
Woof. Why? Where?
So he had one at the high school, like with all of the orchestra kids from like 4 different schools.
Oh, wow.
And then on Monday, he had one at the hospital where, you know how like they've got a grand piano and like someone's always just there playing?
Yeah.
Well, one of the slots was orchestra time.
No. Wow.
And we've got another one there and one at a retirement community.
Oh, well, that's cool, though, that they get him out and playing. And busy, though.
It is.
Anyway, speaking of busy, we were going to have a lot of family, and so we wanted to feed them. That's just kind of what you do.
I was bummed that
in the
we
culture.
didn't have time to come.
Yeah, I wish you would have, because it actually turned out way better than I thought. So we had kind of talked about what we want to do. We kind of settled on breakfast burritos. And my thought was, and I looked all over, I scoured the interweb, and I couldn't find a breakfast burrito bar, like kind of a buffet style, get what you want, put it in your burrito, wrap it up. I've seen all kinds of tacos and regular burrito stuff, but I hadn't seen any breakfast stuff. So I decided to do it. So
Sorry, I had to get my B-reel out of the way.
that's right. I feel like you were just looking at me, and I've been on many a high schooler's B-reels before. Anyway, so it actually worked out way better than I thought. So went to Sam's Club. I was at a PD, a professional development day on Friday because I didn't have school. If you don't know what professional development is, it's when somebody who has never been a teacher before or taught for like a year in the 90s comes and tells you what you're doing wrong and how to be a better teacher. So it's very effective. So anyway, I was sitting there like, okay, I need to figure out how much of everything I need to get. And so I used ChatGPT and was like, hey, how much of all this stuff do I need to get for 40 people? And it's actually pretty accurate.
Isn't it amazing what you can do with ChatGPT?
Dude, seriously. I am teaching an entire unit on taxes. Ask me how much I knew about taxes before I started teaching this unit. It has been a game changer.
That's awesome.
I have to fact check everything, but it's been really good. Anyway, so went to Sam's Club, and we kept it pretty simple. I think you could do a lot of fun stuff with this. I think you could do, chorizo and different stuff. We have kind of basic white families, so I just made bacon. So I made 6 pounds of bacon on the Blackstone. And I tell you what, dude, I forget every time until I start using it how awesome the Blackstone is at cooking breakfast food in a extremely timely manner. Like, I had it on medium and I was throwing bacon out, and Kyle had to be flipping it so it wasn't burning when I was throwing the second row on.
Oh yeah, dude.
It was
wild.
Awesome. So the whole process took me 2 hours, which I feel like prepping for 40 people, 2 hours is nothing. So I cooked the bacon first, and then I was kind of like, I don't want to be cooking it as people are coming over or anything. Like, we just wouldn't have time. So I cooked it. I like it a little crispy. I cooked it to just over rubbery, like still a little chewy, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I put it in a foil pan and put it on the smoker. Ooh. And just kind of really low so it didn't overcook it. But, man, it was good.
I like that.
It was phenomenal.
You were just using the smoker as a warmer.
Yeah, a warmer, but it also kind of continued to cook and kept... Oh, man, it was good.
I love that, dude.
I did the same thing with the sausage. So I browned it up, did 4 pounds of sausage, kind of browned it up. Again, Blackstone, dude. Holy crap.
It cooks so fast.
Threw down 4 pounds of sausage, browned it up in...
5 minutes?
5 minutes, maybe. So then did the same thing with that. Put it in a foil pan, put it on the smoker. And then hash browns. I'm a big, I love, the Burritos hash browns, like the cubed Southern-style hash browns. I couldn't find them at Sam's Club because that's where I was shopping, and so I found some of the shredded dehydrated stuff. Have you ever used this?
I've seen them, but I've never used them.
Whitney got the idea from your neighbor, Tammy. Yeah, for girls' camp. So it's just like a big old giant milk carton. You fill it full of water and just leave it for 15 minutes. Then you drain the excess water and toss it on your Blackstone. It was they were good. Like, I had my doubts, but it was really good. And then
did you season them?
I did, yeah. So I spread them all out. This is important, I guess. I scraped the grill after I'd cooked the meat because I wanted the grease, but I didn't want too much grease. And so I'd kind of cleaned it off a little bit because I was filling my Blackstone grease catcher was full after 6 pounds of bacon and 4 pounds of sausage. So I had to kind of replace that, scraped everything off, and then re-greased it. And then, I just spread the hash browns down. I was going to use some fun rub, but Whitney told me keep it basic, just salt and pepper. So that's what I did. But salt and pepper, left it for a minute, and then you kind of, Sam the cooking guy, or who's the griddle guy that we talk about sometimes? I can't remember now.
The griddle guy.
There's a
Cooking with Daryl?
Yes, Cooking with Daryl. He's done this. I've watched him make a lot of these hash browns, and then he partitions them off almost, cuts them into sections so that you can just flip them. Worked really good. I've made a lot of hash browns, but it never really works like it does in restaurants, Yeah. It worked really good partitioning them like that, letting kind of the bottom layer get hard and golden brown, and then just flipping them over together.
I like that.
They're good. So I did the same thing with those, cooked them, put them in a foil pan, covered them in foil, put them in the oven because I was out of room on my smoker, and then did 5 dozen eggs, which my good wife started cracking while I was cooking everything else. So it was
a lot of eggs, man.
Dude, it was. But it was, I'll be honest with you, I had my doubts. I was like, we got a lot of kids. We got a lot of people. I don't know how fast this is going to go. It was phenomenal. It worked really good. People got through the line. They went and folded their burrito. I helped some of the kids fold their burrito. We had all kinds of sauces. We had...
Did you heat the tortillas?
Yes. So the tortillas... I was looking into tortilla warmers and stuff. So what I ended up doing was just putting damp paper towel down in a foil pan.
Yep.
Threw a whole dozen tortillas in there, covered it with a damp paper towel, covered it in foil, and just left it in there. And it worked really well.
Nice.
They dried out a lot when I uncovered them. I didn't have a buffet table or anything, but yeah. So listen, if you're entertaining over the holiday and you need a meal that's easy and feeds a crap ton of people and is delicious, 10 out of 10 would recommend Burrito Bar.
Dude. I'm thinking about all the other burritos, not just breakfast.
Yeah.
Potatoes, chicken, steak, pork.
Well, I wonder if you could do and I kind of got this idea because for my mom's side of the family's party, we did Cafe Rio stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of wondering if you could just do, which is delicious, it's really good, but I'm kind of wondering if you could make almost like a Beto's burrito bar. You can make a California burrito with what's on the table. You can make a Texano burrito. You can make, I don't know. You would really, it would be simple. You just need steak, you need pico de gallo, you need chicken, you need potatoes, you need sour cream. Guacamole.
Cheese.
Yeah. Dude.
I'm so hungry right now, dude.
It worked out really good, and it was delicious and filling.
And it's early enough. We could totally go to Beto's and...
Dude. Until next time.
I'm John.
I'm Mike.
And we're going to Beto's. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to subscribe. subscribe.